because I'm a gangster.
Honestly, I do not like it.
Welcome to the Deathmatch Hour.
But don't do the backyard. You're going to hurt yourself.
If you don't like deathmatch wrestling, I fucking hate you.
If that theme song doesn't get you fucking hyped, I don't know what the fuck will. That was the shit. I'm hyped up. Before I start tonight, I just want to give my thoughts and all that to Colt 45. Right now, he's going through some shit. He's in the hospital. Whole deathmatch community to be thinking about him. If you pray, send those prayers out. Let's bring in Jimmy Lyon real quick. Jimmy, what's up? Jimmy, Jimmy Lyon. Jimmy fucking Lyon, not pork loin, right?
Yeah. You can hear me. Everything's good. Everything's.
Yeah, we hear you. Everybody, drop those questions. Jimmy Lyon will answer anything. He doesn't give a fuck, do you?
No. I have my Mad Dog. I got both the banana red and the peaches and cream.
Oh, yeah.
All for under $10, especially if you're 17 and have never had alcohol before. It's a good experience. Watching the intro, I completely forgot Connor put fish hooks in my feet before. That was awful.
We're going to go over that a little bit later. I got the clip. I want you to narrate it for us.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's talk about Colt 45. I know you know him pretty well. You were on a lot of shows with him.
Yeah. His dad actually is a really good guy too. Like I don't talk to his brother too much, but they're all friends with me on Facebook. But his dad, like, always checking up on me during the pandemic and everything like that. And like, he's the one, like, whatever's up with Colt right now, like, I hope to God he pulls through it. He's a good dude. Every time I go down to North Carolina, he's the first one to give me a hug and talk about doing a barefoot match with me. And his dad's like, what's so heartbreaking about this for his dad? Like, his dad, every time he messages me, he's always so proud of his son. And it's just like, it just, hopefully things turn out better, because especially with Thanksgiving next week and just in general, it sucks. Just really
man. Everybody just keep him in your thoughts. I think he's going to pull through. We can't lose anybody else in 2020. 2020's just been the fucking worst shit ever. So fucking Colt, MDKC, Jimmy Lyon, and the entire deathmatch community is fucking standing with you on this, man.
He still owes me a barefoot thumbtack match. So there's like 4 of us that actually do them. So,
I was going to introduce you as the king of the barefoot shit. Why do you do it, man? What's with the feet?
Bailey.
Why the feet?
Have you seen me actually try to wrestle? It's not very good. So it's kind of like the reason I started doing it, the first barefoot match I ever did was with Connor. And it's funny because I did the match with Connor, and then immediately after, Connor got on the house mic and said, "That's my last barefoot match. I quit. I'm not doing them anymore." Which, of course, was in my head, well, maybe I should start doing them more often. Same thing happened. Neil Diamond Cutter, he said, yeah, I'm never doing another one again. So if anything, I had the ability to make people quit doing them after doing them. but they're also much more talented wrestlers than me. So sorry, I got a lot of ticks, so I'm just playing with this.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
This is a laid back interview. We don't give a fuck here.
Oh, I know, but like I'm a very awkward 33-year-old person in general, so it tends to happen. But the reason I started doing it was because, well, first of all, self-admittedly, I'm a fucking mark. Sometimes when I'm trying to be a heel, I say that as like a bad thing, but it's not. Like I said, I'm a Pondo mark. I watched IWA Mid-South growing up. I've been going to CCW shows since 2000. One of my favorite matches ever was Drake Younger versus JC Bailey. So, I watched that and just, it separated itself completely from that King of the Death matches, which is a really good King of the Death match, the 2006 one, because it was the only barefoot one. And they didn't have to do a million different gimmicks. They just used light tubes and thumbtacks. So when the first Survival of the Sickest was coming up, I said, see if Connor wants to do it, but because I knew I was going to wrestle Connor, and I said, can we do like a barefoot pits match? And they were like, oh well, we'll ask Connor, and then Connor did it, and he quit right after. So I was like, well, he's going to quit doing them, and Connor's a lot tougher than me, believe it or not. I'm more stupid, not tough. Yeah, he is. I would always say that I would always I love Connor to death. Regardless of how many times he's beating the shit out of me, love Connor to death. I would always jump in a bar fight to fight for him, but I probably wouldn't because Connor can also fight a lot better than me too. But I did that, and it kind of got noticed because I started asking people, hey, would you do this? And it's not taken away from them, but G-Raver's I'll do anything but barefoot stuff. Matt Tremont, I'll do anything but barefoot stuff. A lot of people, I'll do anything but barefoot stuff. So it's oh, fuck, I'm not that great of an actual wrestler, so I guess I got to do barefoot stuff, Find your niche, and hang on to it the most you can. So
it seems to be fucking working for you, man.
Yeah. Apparently I can do them good. The only thing that really, really sucks about doing them, it's not so much when you're doing them, because you have a lot of adrenaline going through your body when you're doing them. So when you're actually doing them, it's not the worst thing as compared to everything else. But the second the adrenaline wears off, you can't walk for 2 or 3 days after. Especially since you put all your weight on your feet. So your body weight's constantly pressing on the wounds and everything. It sucks. I need help getting around for a couple of days after them, which is also why I ask for more money when I do them.
Well, look at this picture here. What the fuck? A gusset
I've
to
never
the
done
foot.
gusset plates before that.
That's crazy, man.
Well, that was the other thing. I was I've never done gusset plates, and seeing some people do gusset plates, that was on my list of 2 things I wanted to. Well, 3 things: skinny light tubes, which I think is on everybody's list. Fire, just because I've seen too many people go up in flames. Me as a 17, 18-year-old kid watching Nick Gage at TOD4 just turn to a human match. It's well, not doing that. And gusset plates, because I've seen a couple things. I think it was the first Guardians of Hardcore. So I forget who it was, but he got thrown off superplex onto a table that had gusset plates glued to it, and it didn't just poke through him; it tore through him. Same thing happened with Danny DeMonto either this year or last year. He took a bump from the outside. He took pretty much the Cactus Jack flip bump to the outside, and a board was set up between the guardrail and the apron. It had gussets on it, and it tore his elbow completely up. He had to get stitches all up. It looked like a tiger just clawed through him. So gusset plates were always the thing that I said, never going to do them. Well, this was H2O's biggest show to date, so I was like, fuck it, I'll do them. But I'm only going to do them this one time. And so if I'm going to do them, might as well do it so no one can say, oh, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. So I told Neil, hey, you want to put them on my feet? I know that John Wayne Murdoch took one to his foot, and that's where I got the idea. If you notice, I steal a lot of spots. It happens. Everyone steals from somebody. I just do it stupid enough to where people think it's original. It's not.
What the fuck did this feel like when it went into your foot? You could see the
Terrible.
clip here. We're playing it as we talk. Not went into your head.
Yeah, and I've never done that either, and I got really good color from that. So, so now I'm like half and half. I'm like, fuck, maybe I will do gusset plates, but I'm not taking a flip bump onto them.
Well,
But
little
when it
Louie,
was my foot, like, it's
Louie
weird.
says,
I'm
"What's the
sorry.
worst death match? What's the worst shit you taken?" It just a quick question: is that gusset to the foot the worst? Because that
No, it is not.
okay.
It is absolutely not. There's 3 instances that stick out to be like, it hurts so bad. Like full disclosure, there's theatrics in wrestling. It's I forgot to fucking sell when I took them. One was when I did a last man standing match against Jeff Cannibal. He flipped me off again, the Cactus Jack bump to the floor. But he did it onto a shopping cart. I set the shopping cart up wrong, so the legs were sticking out. And my ankles, as you can see here, because I'm just in my pajama pants, they smacked on the cart, and I thought I broke my fucking ankle. That's one. The second worst one was I was wrestling Chuck Payne, because I've done that like 7 times. And for some reason, I thought it would be cool if I tried to – we were outside, and I jumped on a chair, kind of like Sabu, and he caught me in a power slam on the floor. He did that, and I straight up almost shit my pants, and I just couldn't get out. He came down to me. He's like, "You okay?" It's like, "Give me a minute." I just was curled up in a ball. I could barely move. But the worst pain I've ever felt, and it doesn't seem that bad, but legitimately, like I just put my head down, and I couldn't breathe. It was so bad. I did a no rope barbed wire match with Matt Tremont, and in the match we got barbed wire bats. Well, the bats weren't like Louisville Sluggers, and they weren't aluminum. They were these really hard but plastic wiffle ball bats. Matt wrapped them up real good, and basically because they were wiffle ball bats, Matt and me both were like, "Yeah, we'll just swing them as hard as we can at each other." Matt's a big, strong guy, so I'm down on all fours. I'm waiting for the bat shots. He says, "Sorry, Chondo." Boom. And you notice, like, I was going to do this big sell, like, run around the ring and everything. I just put my head down, and Matt just looks like, "Oh, well," he whispers to me, like, "Get up for the second one," because I was supposed to take, like, 3 of these. Like, oh, fuck. So he hits me again, and I just kind of just tumble over. And we were going to go from there. If you notice, I talk a lot more than you asked me to.
Oh, no. That's what we want, man. Talk.
Yeah. Well, I'm sober, too, so, good change.
Hey, I thought we seen all those bottles, though. Is that going to change throughout this hour?
I am hoping to do a drunken death match one day, just because I think those are, I currently am without my own car. I still have a license, but I'm currently without my own car. So, I will always have a person to drive me home. So, I just want to do a drunken death match. But, remember when DJ Hyde wrestled Zandig at the last CCW show at the arena, before they took a big break? And he had the thumbtack bats, and he went like this, like he basically played the drums on his back. Matt was going to do that with me. After he hit me the second time, I was just like, no drums, and I just kind of curled up. Like it was terrible. But then I got to beat the shit out of his arms with it, which sure wasn't as hard as he hit me, because Matt's a big fucking guy. But yeah, so those are the 3 in order, 3 worst things ever. The gusset plate to the foot. When it's weird, because when, again, you have all this adrenaline going through you, especially if you're nervous, you have a lot of adrenaline, so you tend to not feel as much as you would think. So it's a weird way to describe it. It's like you feel it going through your foot, and it definitely went through my fucking foot. You feel it going through your foot, and it hurts, but in your head for a second, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. So like a minute later, like you kind of forget about it, then you try to get up and stand, and you're like, oh wait, it is that bad. And like it just starts throbbing. Like that's the bad thing about it. All this stuff starts throbbing, especially when the adrenaline wears off. Like it's fucking terrible, which is why I do them, because not a lot of people will. So
Do a lot of deathmatch guys say, fuck that, I won't do? Has another deathmatch guy ever said, no, I don't want to do that with you, I don't want to do the foot thing, let's do something different?
Yeah, a lot. I wrestled G Raver in a Martha Stewart Good Housekeeping match.
I remember that one. We just
Yeah.
posted the clip today in the group.
Well, it's funny because Matt came up with the name first, and then he was like, I was like, so what exactly is the match? Well, I don't know. Figure it out. Like, it wasn't as cold as that. Like, oh, fucking figure it out. But he's like, oh, I don't know. Whatever you want. So it's like, okay. Which somehow I guess included toothpicks and stuff. So I wanted him to take the tattoo needles and I wanted him to shove them in my foot. And I think this was like a quick conversation. And on the day of, he forgot to bring the tattoo needles. So I was like, oh, shit. But on that day, you talk about people not wanting to do barefoot stuff. He suggested a couple things, and because I'd never done them before, I was freaked out. Like I said, like I'm not a tough guy at all. Like I just do stupid stuff that I regret later, but it looks cool on camera. Like I will never put myself over as like John is one of the toughest fucking guys. It's like, no, I regret it, but I'll do it.
Look, little Louis says his dad would love to do that with you.
Well, the drunken death match.
Low life, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that with him. Louis is the first person who I thought that I could headbutt as hard as I could, and then afterwards, Louis will take anything. You talk about the toughest person, that's Louis. But afterwards, he's like, maybe you headbutt a little too hard sometimes. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And of course, I got this big fucking giant egg head or goose egg sticking out of my head. But yeah, so. The thing with the barefoot thing is, like I said, and I don't blame anyone because I mean, I do it. It's kind of my niche because not a lot of people do it. But like I said, like, I don't blame anybody for not wanting to do it. A lot of people don't like doing it because they know you can't walk for a couple days and they have actual jobs. Artwork and wrestling, pretty much my two jobs right now. And I'm lucky enough to have a house. Not from this. I have a lot of people helping me too. But I'm lucky enough to be able to get by on that at 33. It helps that my very understanding, long-suffering fiance is an EMT, so she brings in most of the money. But it's just the barefoot thing is after the fact. Like doing it isn't too bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst. It's after the fact. It's worse than any other kind of wound thing I got because you can't change how you're always on your feet. So I forgot what I was saying with that. Maybe I should start drinking this.
Take a shot. I want to dive into the Jimmy Lyon story right now. You grew up in Alabama, correct?
Yeah, the Alabama part of South Jersey.
Okay. How was it growing up in Alabama?
Full disclosure, I don't think I've ever been to Alabama. I maybe drove through it when we all went to Carnage Cup, but again, being a mark, I was a mark for Trent Astis, so he was Philadelphia, Japan, so I was going to be Southern. I was going to be from Alabama, Japan, so, and also, I milked that for a couple of years because when I was working family-friendly companies, before they all stopped booking me because I do death matches, it happens. I would come out to Sweet Home Alabama, so that's really easy to get crowds behind you with. But
so you've been wrestling since 2011?
Yes, January 2011.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. The second week of January, I walked into the Force One Pro Wrestling Academy in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. And a year and a half later, the school no longer existed. So, that kind of tells you how my wrestling career was going to go from there.
So what happened from there?
Oh, from there, it was weird. Like there used to be a commercial that said, "Get off the couch and into the ring," for pro wrestling school, which is great advice. But what they don't tell you is you should probably hit a gym in between that. So I got off the couch and got into the ring and proceeded to hold, and I still hold the school's record for the most time anyone ever threw up in one day with 7 or 8. So, sorry, this is really good Mad Dog. I suggest the Mad Dog 2020 Banana Red.
Shit's good.
Fuck yeah, it really good. Better than the peaches and cream, which is why I'm holding it or waiting to drink it. But there was a lot.
So how did you make it from to like On Point? What was the first big promotion kind of you work? Was it did you get into the CZW dojo or On Point first?
No, it was On Point, and I remember Loudy hit me up again because we all used to go to CZW shows together, and there's that kind of camaraderie. And I guess it was who they were holding a muscular dystrophy benefit somewhere in PA, and he was like, "Hey, you want to win a battle royal?" Yeah, sure. Then you want Nate Hatred to kill you afterwards? Fuck yeah, I do. So that was the first time. That was in 2014, and then they were getting everyone together for the Survival of the Sickest tournament, and I worked a place called Crossroads Wrestling, and I actually shot on my opponent, which has only happened twice. Because again, I'm not tough, so if I'm shooting on somebody, I'm going to get my shot in and then get my ass kicked. Well, this didn't happen.
What did the guy do to piss you off?
He bailed on everything. Again, I won't mention names, and we've since made our peace. But he I was trying to do stuff, and he would bail. It's like, okay, whatever. Then we sat down, and we were going to do the punch out spot with Necro, like Necro does. And he gave me a slap. It's like, okay, cool. I went to hit him, and he trying to see because it's all reversed on the camera. I went to hit him, give him his shot, and he put his hand up. I was like, fuck it. Boom, boom, boom. I just started fucking unloading on him. And before the match, he said, just don't give me any headbutts. Well, after that, I was pissed. I was like, fuck this. So I grabbed him, and I headbutted him like 3 times, as hard as I fucking possibly could. Matt and Loudy were there in the crowd. Matt was just selling stuff, and I think Loudy was managing somebody there. And they were watching. So after that day, they hit me up, and I hated the fucking match. But they hit me up, and they were like, hey, you want to be in Survival of the Sickest? Just making sure. You guys saw my match from the other day. Yeah, we realized you took a lot of stuff, and, yada, yada, yada. We think you'd be good for it. Yes, I do. So it kind of started from there, just me losing my temper on somebody and being thankful that they didn't fight back because they would have kicked my ass.
So Loudy is kind of credited as giving you your break, huh?
Loudy and Matt, because it was both of them. But because Matt, again, was helping Loudy with kind of the deathmatch side of things, from my understanding. Not entirely, but, as far as Survival of the Sickest came, like Matt had a lot of feedback. So I think it was both of them together helped me with that. And then from there, I did a staple gun match, which we were giving 10 to 12 minutes to do between Jeff Cannonball and Connor Claxton. And we went 20 minutes and sorry. And yeah, from there, it was just kind of, doing death matches and On Point, and I like doing them. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you want to answer this match? 2000 what?
2015. Like I'd done hardcore matches before, but that was my first official death match. If you want to call the staple gun match, death match. Like everyone was fucking bleeding, except for me because for some reason I have trouble bleeding. But so.
Hey, you want to answer this question from Adam Cartrell? Every time we hear Deep South, what's your thoughts on WA Deep South?
Well, I've worked for them before. I was put in a Carnage Cup as a favorite of Matt because he just wanted to travel with all of his friends down there. So, a lot of people say a lot of things about Kevin Brannon, and I'm going to be one of them. I don't want to shit on people. Again, I'm trying not to have people.
He blocked me. He blocked me on Facebook.
He fucking blocked me too.
Shit on him. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I know, but it's the whole thing where it's like, again, I used to get myself in a lot of trouble, and it was all on me, and it was because I just opened my mouth when I shouldn't. This one I don't think I have to worry about, but I'll just say this about Kevin Brannon. He runs his shows how he wants. Then he'll kind of go online and be like, man, they don't like the Deep South. They don't like this. But then if you ever saw the Carnes Cup documentary, he brags about getting away with trashing buildings and stuff like that. Like, there's a point where you have to do business right. I'll say this. When I got there for the Carnes Cup, he gave me my envelope, gave us all our money right away. You know, so on that side of business, it was fine.
Everybody says he always pays.
It pays. But also, you know, you go to his page, his Facebook page, which I'm pretty sure is the reason why he stopped or unfriended me, which is whatever. And he stopped once I started doing the kind of the Chandita thing, which it's weird being your own sister, but you know. But he has a lot of anti-trans and anti-gay and just Holocaust denier stuff on his page. And I'm just like, whatever. You want to unblock me, unfriend me for that? It's whatever. You know, same thing. Like some people have, you know, said things to me because I, you know, sometimes dress in drag. And it's like, you know what? Like, full disclosure, like, that's more on you. Like, it's whatever. I'm fine with it. So it literally doesn't affect you guys. And, you know, I think a guy like Kevin Brennan is probably more upset that, you know, a guy who dresses kind of like a girl and looks damn good in it sometimes too. Sometimes, you know, is comfortable like that. I think is tougher than him. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much like Deep South is Deep South. They're always going to be Deep South. But Kevin Brennan, I'm good. You know. Sorry you felt uncomfortable.
We're not. So
I'm still going to keep dressing with my sister.
So we cannot expect you anytime soon in the Deep South arena?
No. Well, I think especially after, you know, because I didn't know this stuff before, you know, you hear the Deep South stories and, oh, Kevin Brennan is this, Kevin Brennan is that. I think it would make me a hypocrite if you know, especially doing a gimmick like Chandita. And again, like I said, like, you know, dressing like that for a while. So, oh, well, it's just.
It would be funny for Chandlina to step in the Deep South arena one night.
It would. And I'd probably end up shooting on somebody again. Not that I'm tough to do that, but, you know, it would be hypocritical for me, especially knowing his stance on all that stuff. Like, it's just, I'm good. You know, quite frankly, if I only work for H2O, you know, like I said, it's 30 minutes from my house. All my friends are there. People come in as opposed to you going out there, which I don't mind traveling, but, you know, it's just convenient. I'm good without IWA Deep South, and I think they're good without me, you know? Like, I'm not losing any sleep on not working IWA Deep South, you know?
So
Ever.
You didn't really like your experience at the Camp
Oh,
Carnage?
No. My experience there was a fucking blast. For all the weird, wrong reasons, like looking at stuff like kind of sideways, like, no shit. Matt, I know in his match, got cut real deep in his head. And I have footage of all the stuff that upon my death will be released. Until then, because I took home video of the entire weekend.
Fucking post it, man.
No.
You gotta see this shit.
That goes with me. A button will be pressed upon my death, and then the world will get that Carnage Cup footage. But Matt, I remember, had to go to the hospital because EMTs were there, and I don't think anyone called them there. I got there, and you know, I said, "Hey, thank you for being here." And just all this stuff. There's no cell phone service. There was nothing there. And they were like, oh, well, we weren't going to come, but then someone brought up the event and showed us clips, so we figured we better be here. Well, Matt got a really deep cut on his head, and a couple people went to the hospital. And Matt, as he's going, and I have footage of it, he notices I'm filming. He waves. He's sitting in the ambulance. He's going to the hospital. He drives off, and I just say, and I thought, like, God, I hope we see him again. There's a lot of stuff like that there.
That had to be scary. Do you know how long the trip was?
Oh, no,
from Camp Carnage to the hospital?
I think Matt was like 40. Said it was like 40 minutes, 45 minutes there.
Holy fuck!
Back and forth. He said,
that's insane.
He had trouble getting contact for somebody to pick him up. So I think, again, Matt told me this, but I kind of gotta. He knows more of the specifics, but he was able to get messages back to and from the taco shack in Camp Carnage because more people got hurt and sent there. So as the ambulance went there to drop somebody off and went back, Matt would send another message, hey, somebody come pick me up. So, happy accident. I think Marcus Crane went there. Brad Cash, I believe, went to the hospital because he had a bad on his face. Matt went to the hospital. That's at least 3. I think like 1 or 2 more, but I can't remember. But luckily they did go to the hospital. They're okay, but luckily they did go to the hospital because that was how Matt was able to get messages back to us that he needed to get picked up. So
someone had to take the 50-minute hike up the road. Holy shit!
Yeah. I think he ended up hitchhiking a ride back with fans that were driving people there to the hospital and back. So
we got sidetracked here, but I got one more question. Did you eat one of the delicious tacos that were served there?
I did not, but it was one of the cleanest, dirtiest bathrooms I've ever been to. Like, you see dirty bathrooms with the graffitis on the wall, and it classifies as a dirty bathroom. But you're there and you're like, doesn't smell. I don't mind sitting down on this toilet. It's pretty clean for someplace terribly dirty. Maybe I lost my appetite between the fact that the opening round match and my match, which I got to buy into the second round, took like 6 or 7 hours in between the opening match and that match.
That was weird. Why did you get a buy? That was weird. I never understood that.
I didn't either. I just saw they were originally I was supposed to be into that hardcore rumble, and then they said, well, we're gonna do a drawing tonight, see who gets a buy into the second round. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch this, just see who's gonna get in there. And then it's like, oh fuck, they called my name. I guess I'm gonna get into the second round.
You're lucky you didn't go into that rumble though. Holy fuck, huh?
Oh, I would have had the time of my life. I love shit like that.
That looked insane, man.
I know. Oh my god! Like car crashes in wrestling are some of my favorite fucking things. Like I'll have a match and my tag partner Mark Angel, he will get upset at more things than he should. He'll have a bad match and be like, God damn it, that sucks. Like, he'll get all beat up on himself. I was like, dude, I had the time of my fucking life. I don't know what you're talking about, But between that, the Hardcore Rumble, being there 7 hours, and at the end of the night, they had these giant fire pits, because it was a legit campground. And Kevin Brennan and a couple people lit them up. And Kevin Brennan took unpopped light tubes, which are sealed and are gas, and started throwing them in the fire pits. And we're watching them from Schlack's van, and he's like, did he just do this? And we like, oh, God, yeah. Does he realize what's going to happen? And I was like, no, I don't think he does. What do we do? Let's just should we tell him? He's like, no, let's just fucking watch. And he kept throwing them in there. And by like the third box, the first box started reacting to the fire, and boom! Like, yeah, it was like a Hollywood Studios fucking explosion. And then after that, I think the camp people kindly asked him to stop throwing light tubes in there. But
shoot style, baby. Holy fuck.
Shoot style. But something funny, there was no service that entire day. So I don't think Schlack was dating anyone at that time. I don't know if G-Raver was. But Cannonball, Matt, and myself all have the equivalent of fiancés to wives. So we couldn't get in contact with them the whole day, and they're just reading the results, seeing everyone's going to the hospital, this and that. They don't know who, they don't know what, they don't know what the fuck's going on. So about 5 miles outside of the actual campground, we all lost all cell service. Like, couldn't get a hold of fucking anybody. 0 bars. Even if you hooked it up to a hub, you couldn't get anything. So we're driving back, and we hit that 5 mile mark where we all originally lost service, and we all get our service back. And from the entire day of not being able to get hold of our significant others, we all, me, Matt, and Cannonball, instantly our phones start blowing up with the angry text, where the fuck are you? Are you okay? All this shit. And we're just like, yeah, we're fine. We can explain. We're good. We're heading home. We're good. So that was another funny thing. But it was 20 hours there, 19 hours back in Schlack's panel van, which was an experience I will never forget because I have it on video.
Now, did Kevin Brannon openly accuse you of mailing it in? Because he accused a lot of the East Coasters of mailing it in that afternoon.
No, not your face. No.
Okay, that's good. Fucking Brannon, huh?
Yeah, well, again, he doesn't. I don't know if he's the kind of. He might do it to people's faces. Again, he can accuse Matt of mailing it in. Matt went to the hospital for him.
No, he didn't. When he came on the Death Hour, he said Matt did not mail it in. That's
Yeah.
one thing. And Shellac, he said definitely did not mail it in.
Well, that's funny because he was asking me, is something wrong with Schlack? Because Schlack in a second round match left, like he bailed out for a little bit in a second round match. People forget, and Schlack went into that tournament fucked up. I think he wrestled, wasn't Marcus Crane the week before? And his chest was gaped open from a gusset plate or glass or something. So he was fucked up. But yeah, I don't know what part of Cannonball shoot headbutting the shit out of Tank.
That was awesome.
And beating the piss out of everybody in the first and second round. And G-Raver had a good match too. So that leaves me. So I guess when I said the East Coast guys mailed it in, sorry.
Yeah, you fought, who was it? Were you in like a triple threat with Chewy Martinez and someone else?
Bryant Woods and Dale Patricks, and all three of us. But so we were sitting around, we were waiting for that, and we were waiting for the match to happen. Starting to get dark, and they just told us like, here, just go, speed through everything, yada yada yada. Like they pretty much told us like, try and get through it as fast, but as good, but as fast as you can. And then what it was what it was. I was just happy to be able to take off my wrist tape after all that, after 7 fucking hours. But I guess he wasn't happy with my performance. But sorry, I tried.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, like I said,
let's go back.
Future Carnage Cups. Which well.
Let's go back. Fuck Deep South for a while. CZW Dojo. Now, is that like you have to graduate from there, and then they'll put you on the real? Is it kind of like NXT used to be?
As far as I know, believe it or not, I mean, I went down to a couple classes at CZW. I was trained by Sammy Callahan, a guy named RV1, who was probably the best wrestler you have never heard of, but he's fantastic, can do Phoenix splashes and everything. But Johnny Calzone, who's one of my best friends to this day, and Joe Gacy. So sometimes I would go down there and I would, just train like days that Gacy was there and everything, and sporadically. So I never really did the Dojo War system. I wasn't a CCW student at any time. But from what I understand, like Jeff Cannonball, he had to go down there and do that stuff and then do security, and then they would let him in. Like I've heard stuff like that. But me, like I was kind of like, well, I'm not a CCW student. I've been wrestling for X amount of years. I guess it was kind of shitheaded on my part. If you notice, I do a lot of things that are shitheaded on my part that I regret later. But in this one, I was just like, no, they should, because I started doing death matches and On Point. I was like, they should want to use me based off of my talent for there. And, I get some places want you to jump through hoops, but I was like, you know what? I don't really want to jump through the hoops. Like I should be, if they don't think they can make money booking me, then don't book me. And, and which I'm fine with. But I was like, I wasn't about like, I'm going to show up and, suck up to certain people and this stuff like that. I'm not saying people that went down there did, but like I had back in 2015, at least I had a real big, like, fuck this, they should want to book me on my own, which cost me a lot of bookings. So I never went through that. I've heard stories, but I never personally went through that. How I actually got booked for TOD was kind of an accident. So
you face DJ Hyde in the Dojo Wars or no?
Oh, I did. That was because I specifically asked, hey, my friend MLJ was booking at that time. It's like, hey, can I wrestle DJ? Because again, I had that whole mindset of, well, they should want to book me after this. I'm tough. I can do death matches. I can do this. And so I wrestled DJ, and DJ beat the absolute piss out of me. In DJ's defense, which doesn't happen very often these days, people saying that, I told DJ, just beat the ever-loving fuck out of me. Same thing I tell Chuck Payne every time I wrestle him. Just beat the ever loving shit out of me. Like, you know, and I like those matches.
So
DJ,
that match didn't lead to you because your dream was to kind of, I don't know if it was to be in CZW, but definitely I know this. One of your dreams was to go to TOD. That was a
yeah,
big thing for you, man.
and I'm sure we'll get to it in a little, but
Yeah, we will.
I hated that match. And it's nothing against Connor. It's just that that match was a big disappointment to a lot of people. It was a big disappointment to me. Again, and it's not shitting on Connor. There's a lot of factors that went into it, but I was just like, fuck.
True or false? True or false? You were supposed to have different spots that day, and you didn't. They didn't. You weren't
Yeah.
able to do a couple things that might have been awesome.
Well, I know a couple of weeks going into that match, I was trying to petition to let me go off the roof, and multiple people said no, for good reasons, I guess. I wanted to do the Zandig bump, but someone was like, "Well, no one's going to want to go off with you because you know they got to do other matches." And I was like, "Well, let's just throw me off like Hell in the Cell," and they were like, "No, no, no, this is higher than that bar, and the building is higher than the bar at the Zandig and Mondo went off of." And when I got up there, it would have been one of those things that I was like, "Fuck, I regret this. Oh, guess I got to go off," you know. There was a lot of stuff. Like me and Connor called a match, and then it kind of got rushed to the finish. You know, and again, I love Connor to death. There was just some shit going on that day. A lot of people don't know this, but I was a fucking wreck that day. My grandmother, who I guess people kind of know about her, I just wrestled Neil Diamond Cutter because he wanted to have his way with her. She's 91. She had cancer, got diagnosed with cancer earlier in the year. About 4 days before TOD, 3 or 4 days, she was rushed to the hospital, and she was in ICU because she had blood clots in her lung. And they were like, "Listen, for her age, we don't know how this is going to go." So I was like, I didn't sleep the night before. I was like shaking. I was a fucking wreck. It pretty much was like I wanted to do all this stuff. My head wasn't in the right place at all. And the match, like I said, I'm not blaming Connor for it. If anything, like my head not being in the right place was for it. I was ready to go out there. We called a certain match that had me, and I mean, I guess I can say it now because, you know, I think I've come to my senses and not going to do this in the future, but I was contemplating doing a boot scrape and setting my foot on fire and just hoping for the best. Yeah.
That would be sick.
It would have been, but I've also would have ended up in the ICU right next to my grandma.
So what do you think went wrong with specifically the pencil board spot? I know you weren't too happy with just the way. First of all, did Pondo? You don't have to answer this. You can just say no. Did Pondo call you and give you advice about doing a pencil board?
Yeah, he did. Because when I said I was going to do the pencil board spot, I was all about it. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. It's not that bad. I've taken a bed of nails before. He called me up on the telephone, which if Pondo ever sees this, I appreciate the fuck out of that. Because one thing I didn't understand about it, and I guess the reason you don't see the pencil board spot too often, Pondo explained to me on the phone when he did it, it wasn't just, he got, the pencil tip stuck in him. He got really, really sick. Like he got legitimate lead poisoning from that. Yeah. My dumbass didn't understand that, so I had already promised it. But I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go do it. It also didn't help that when it was setting up, I had the kid Ethan, who is very, very, I think some of you guys know him. Very, very good kid.
Shout out Ethan Moore, and he's cool as fuck. He's in the group.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's an administrator here, man, in the group.
Yeah. Well, I guess I know who approved my post looking for the King of the Deathmatch VHS. But he made this beautiful, very hard work pencil board. And between the point of where I set it up against the wall, went in, caught some stuff, someone knocked it down by accident. So that broke off some things for some of the pencil tips. I was like, fuck. The match, the bell rang, and again, not shitting on Connor, but Connor kind of started rushing through a lot of stuff. Connor had some stuff going on that day too, so that's why I'm just like, it was what it was. Like I said, I'll fight somebody for Connor, even though Connor doesn't need me to fight somebody for him, and I'll wrestle him any day of the week. but Connor was going through some stuff, I guess, that day. He got in an argument with some guy called, I think, what's his name? Like Michael Langdon. It was a tense day. So Connor just threw me into it. My cat's here. Connor threw me into the pencil board. The match was like, oh, okay, well, I guess, I'm going to get my heat. I'm going to be able to take over and beat up Connor. So I hit him with a light tube. I start beating him up. Next thing I know, Connor suplexes me into the pit. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to get beat up and get back on, set my foot on fire, do all this stuff. Next thing I know, we go to the finish, and it was like, oh, fuck, I hated that. I really fucking hated that. And again, it's not Connor's fault. We both had stuff. I wasn't in a good place mentally that day, and as much as it disappointed other people, that match fucking disappointed me. And I don't blame Connor. I don't blame anybody. It's just a matter of shitty circumstances crashing like a fucking train, So that was
Hey,
it.
look, we're talking about CZW, and look who's commenting.
Who?
Fucking Captain Dave. You don't get more CZW than, and he's like H2O to the heart, isn't he?
Yeah, Captain Dave's always really nice to me. His girlfriend is too.
Is he the biggest H2O fan? I mean, come on.
Oh fuck yeah, Captain Dave's the biggest wrestling fan. If it wasn't him,
You
it
gotta
would
give him that.
So he is the fan. He is the spiritual successor to Kevin Hogan. So
Yep. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Shout out Captain Dave. We fucking love you here, man.
Yeah. But going back to the whole TOD thing, so it's the end of the day. I think I at least did it. Whatever the match was, I think I at least did a good job making people believe my ribs were broken. Surprise. Which
I remember that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Surprised they weren't.
So you were disappointed in that, and then they brought you back in, right?
Well, they brought me back in the next month for the Lyle Battle Royal. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. But real quick, going back to TOD. So at the end of the day, DJ paid me. We never talked money. I was like, how much you want? I said this much. He gave me more than what I asked for. I was like, oh, cool, thank you. And I told the Michael Langdon guy, who again, I haven't had crosswords with. I'm not trying to shit on him, but I was like, so if you ever need any way to, sell the ribs again, and because it was a work surprise. And because I had people hitting me up asking if I really broke my ribs, which I guess is the only benefit. It's like, no,
dude, I thought it was real. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I can act like scream like a motherfucker sometimes, so that's good. So I'm good at that. But I was like, if you need anyone to do that, and I thought I did a good job, at least whatever the match was, at least promoting it. Because I don't have much faith in my actual wrestling ability, but I think I can cut an okay promo when they don't go on too long. And he said, well, if you really want to get into CZW, keep in mind I just done TOD. TJ just paid me. I think I helped advertise it, pretty good. And he said, well, if you really want to get into CZW, you should really come down to the school. I'm just like, well, I'm good. I'm good. So. Because what was I wrestling like 8 years at that point? And again, people who have been wrestling longer and are much better than me went down to the school. So I'm not shitting on them. Like a lot of people did that. Cannonball did that. But I was just like I just did TOD.
So are you hoping that you're gonna get one more time? Because I know you've seen the big news this week. Maven Bentley. He dropped it. He said 2021, they're coming back.
That's something about CCW. CCW and all the DJ Hyde speaking out and that whole movement thing. I have H2O. If I did not ever need to work anywhere else, I'm perfectly content working for Matt. I have. There's a lot of, I know what my answer to that is, but the thing is, I haven't talked to anyone from CCW, and I think whatever my answer is, it could go whichever way I decide to go, and I've made up my mind. I feel like they're the ones who kind of should hear it first, but I do know that you know, there's I was run before said I have H2O. A lot of things would have to change, and a lot of people would have to take accountability. And that's not calling anyone specifically out, just in general. I think accountability is a big thing, and owning up publicly. A lot of accountability would have to be ponied up for, and a lot of people would have to change how things are run for me to consider that. If they hit me up today, I'd say the same things. Like, a lot of things would have to change. And
are you surprised they're coming back? I don't know. I'm getting some weird feedback when I talk.
Oh,
it's like an echo. Do you hear an echo?
I hear no echo.
Hey guys, comment below if you hear an echo on the screen. Okay. What did I say? No, I forgot.
Am I surprised that they're coming back? No, I'm not surprised. You know, I know that they're still running their school and a lot of and doing all that stuff. They have the rep as trainers who are very good guys and very good trainers, and Gabby Gilbert as a trainer. But like I said, like I don't know. And again, whatever I have to talk about business wise with them, you know, I feel more comfortable talking to them first. But right now, my answer to that is I'm very comfortable at H2O. And I think, especially when something as big happens as what happened with the whole speaking out thing with DJ and everything, things have to very much change before, you know, for me, because I'm never going to go somewhere because, oh man, I want to get, you know, this clout, or I'm going to go somewhere where I can look myself in the mirror at the end of the day and be like, you know what, I'm glad with the person I am and the choices I've made and what I chose to represent. H2O is one of those places. Stan Styles and his Intergender Bonanzas is one of those places. Sean Henderson runs shows. That's one of those places. CZW, until some things change, I can't say right now is one of those places. And until accountability is brought up.
So right now you can kind of feel it in the air that maybe there's a shutdown part 2 coming on the wrestling industry. You can almost feel it. Some states have already fucking started it. Others seem right behind. Are you prepared? What's H2O going to do if the whole thing gets locked down again?
H2O managed to survive the first lockdown. The good thing about H2O, at least footage-wise, is I procrastinate a lot. And in cases of lockdowns, those work like a motherfucker.
I've told you a lot. Hurry up, Jimmy. Hurry up.
Yeah. There's about 35 undiscovereds that I have not edited yet. So we have all those we can put on IWTV, which helps supplement the income, and on DVD. There's a lot of I know Matt mentioned it publicly, but the last lockdown, when Matt wasn't able to run the school, the students on their own accord still paid the monthly thing, and then that's the cool thing about H2O. Like, you get the word family tossed around a lot. Like, a lot of these guys in that locker room, I mean, like, you know, I can run down a list of people. Like, legitimately, if I have a problem at 4 a.m. and I got to call them or just talk about something, like, they'll call me. They'll check up on me. My cat wants to be in the, in the interview.
I was going to ask you, this kind of goes right into a question. We've been bouncing so much.
It's fine.
How close are you to these H2O students? And how much time do you spend a week at the H2O Center? That's kind of your life, isn't it?
Well, editing H2O is my life. I know H2O is Matt's life. I'm very... Like, I'm good friends with a lot of the first and second class. But after a while, like, you know, Mac got so many students so fast. And this sounds kind of terrible, but I kind of don't know most of their names. Like, I know them and I talk to them, but I'm just like, yeah, pal. Yeah, buddy. Like, because I just forget their names. I forget people's names that I've known forever. Can't tell you.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there a couple of those guys right now that you've seen that you're like, oh fuck, like, that guy's good, man?
Oh yeah,
a couple guys. I'm sure they would like that.
Yeah, Marcus Mathers, who also earned my respect because he was the first. He's the first H2O student to get color. So that's good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and also every time I put him over, it irritates his dad, Mark Angel, which I think is funny. That whole group of kids, Marcus Mathers, Dylan McKay, who's starting to come out of his shell. He's got the talent in ring, but he's starting to come out of his shell personality wise, which is fucking awesome. Sean Henderson, which is Matt's first student, and I remember helping Matt. I'm not a trainer there, but for Matt's first class, like Matt never ran a class before, so he's like, Chano, show these kids how to do a bump, and he pointed it out. So I showed Sean Henderson how to do his first bump. I was the test dummy.
Damn.
Yeah, and Sean's like an amazing human being. Let's see, Big Red, Ryan Redfield, someone who doesn't get brought up a lot with them, but I think Austin Luke is fucking tremendous. Chris Bradley, full-time boss. I'm leaving a bunch out, but someone that doesn't get mentioned a lot with them, but is out of his fucking mind. Like, think Sabu circa like 94 through like 96, to where anything he does, he could kill himself or it could be fucking fantastic, is Nothing Face.
Nothing Face, yeah.
He's the kid. I mean, I call him a kid, but he's like 27, 28. Just because I'm an old fucking man, almost in my mid-30s. He's the man that went through the carpet strip coffin at Last Extravaganza Night 2. And something a lot of people don't realize, like, that was such a fucking big deal. He's been wanting to do death matches in hardcore 2+ years, ever since he first set foot in that school. And that was like, that bump, like, I'm so fucking proud of him for that, because that bump was like the culmination of him busting his ass, doing all this stuff, doing everything you should do the right way, and finally being able to do that. Because a couple of the kids want to do death matches, and Matt's like, fucking learn how to wrestle first, learn how to do this, learn how to do that, And with Matt and Preacher teaching them, like, there's ridiculous, like, those kids are better in-ring workers than me, Just, I'm willing to do barefoot stuff and they're not. See? Back to my original point.
Well, you were talking about promos.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that you think you're pretty good at it. I think you're really good at it. You're very underrated. In the deathmatch game, there's not a lot of people that can grab that mic and do what you do sometimes, man. We're going to play a little clip, a little snippet of this. I believe you were going to be facing Tremont in a no-rope barbed wire, and you brought your inner Cactus Jack here. Let's play this for the people.
Filmed in the backseat of my grandmom's van.
Let's play this with sound, and we'll come back and we'll talk about your promo skills.
You can make me. You can mutilate me. You can put me on my deathbed, Matt. But if you want to beat me on April 6th, you're gonna have to fucking kill me!
Man, that's just a little clip. I really like your promo, man. Your promo work, your mic skills.
I appreciate that. Well, as you can probably tell with the amount I'm fidgeting, I'm not a very comfortable in my own skin kind of guy. So when this sounds like such a fucking douchebag actor studio thing, but when I can cut a promo, I could be fucking Chondo, I could be Jimmy Lyon or Chandita or whatever. I don't have to be myself. So if you make fun of that person, you ain't making fun of Chad Burke. And yes, only because Matt mentioned on the mic, my shoot first name is Chad. Fuck. Yeah, it happens.
Fucking Chad. Is it true you have a shoot Facebook that you don't allow any of us on?
Yes, only because my in-laws are my friends on that Facebook, and when people tag me in stuff with, like, I'm bleeding with Neil Diamond Cutter and getting Gus's place stuck in my foot, or Chandita, they don't know about Chandita, and if they did, and they already have questions about me marrying their beautiful daughter, so they don't want to also be worried that I'm going to murder their beautiful little daughter, who could kick my ass. So she's a tiny Italian girl, but she's cool.
What's
so that's
it like when your family, first sees you bleeding in a ring? Like, what's that? We don't ask a lot of guests that, but maybe I'll just ask you it. Like, how is that?
Well, I'll answer. I would just want to about the promos thing. I had a really fucked up childhood, so pulling that stuff out of me is very easy. It's just like sixth birthday. Let's go back to my sixth birthday. My dad was kind of a piece of shit. It happened, Like I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I
can certainly see the Cactus Jack inspiration in there, right?
Oh yeah, because I'm a fucking mark. I fucking love Foley, and he seems to be a good guy too. But
yeah.
But my family. But I had a shitty childhood, so like a lot of people let that fuck them up, and it did fuck me up. I stick my feet in fucking thumbtacks. But I try to take that and learn how to be better from it and learn from that stuff. But my family, like, we're very, very close. Like, so I'm incredibly close to my grandma and my aunt. I lost my mom to cancer a week before my 15th birthday, 2002. My uncle passed away in 2008. My grandpa, who was like my dad, passed away in 2015. So, we've just gotten closer as kind of, and it's kind of a sad analogy, but as the Thanksgiving gatherings get smaller, we've gotten closer. I successfully they've never seen me bleed. They barely watch me wrestle. The first couple months actually of pro wrestling training down in Force One, I did not tell them I was training to be a wrestler. I told them, and this is true, that I was going to bowling lessons because there's a bowling, because it was a sports and more thing, or not sports, yes, spontaneous sports, and it's right next to a bowling alley. So I take all these pictures. Hey, yeah, this is me. Pick up a ball, then I put it down because I didn't pay for it. But now they know I kind of do stuff. It's definitely a thing. Again, they're not friends on this Facebook, so I can kind of say it. But I'll do like death matches, and I'll wear it'd be the middle of the summer, and I'm wearing long sleeves for like 3 weeks until it all heals up and everything like that. Just because it's like my stupid decisions should only be, I mean, stupid, but I like doing it. It should only affect me, and I don't want to worry the ones, I kind of love and care about. So
I respect that.
Yeah.
Chondo.
So Chad, you can call me Chad. We know each other.
Lyon. Anything but fucking loin, right?
Jimmy Lloyd. I like Jimmy Lloyd.
No, loin, like pork loin. On the American Giant episode, I said that you're coming. You're going to be the next guest, and I call you Jimmy Loin.
It happens. I love pork loins, man. I love pork rinds. I love. Chris Rock said it best. I ate a pig's ass. You cook it right. But the only person who I show everything to and knows how fucked up I get is my fiance / soon-to-be wife, fucking COVID, because she is an EMT, which I'm very proud of her. She finally got her license in PA and in New Jersey, and sometimes I need her to help me with stuff. But it's weird, when that whole speaking out movement happened, and I'm not trying to, paint myself as a saint or anything like that, but I've been crazy in love with this girl since I was hooked up with her on a blind date that Joe Gacy set up. So NXT superstar Joe Gacy hooked me up with my future wife. So
he's rocking it now, huh? At the NXT Performance Center.
He's doing his thing. But the girl he was dating at the time had a sister that. Yeah, he was like, well, should we hook them up? They're both kind of weird. And they were like, yeah, we should. So on his girlfriend's 21st or 22nd birthday, I went with Joe, and they intentionally set us both up. And I remember they sat us down at the bar. And I sat down at the bar, I bought her a couple drinks. And I was like, okay, I'm only going to talk to her for 15, 20 minutes. I ended up talking to her for 3 hours, So when all that is, and that was July 5th, 2002. I remember that. So when all this I've never sent an inappropriate message to a girl. I've never sent, creepy pictures to a girl. And again, I'm not a saint. It's just kind of I've always been with this girl and kind of very, very happy. She can cook raviolis like you wouldn't fucking believe. So I've just never had that desire to do it. So when this whole speaking out thing was going on, I was like, oh, thank God I've been with Natal for almost 10 years, because, loneliness can do stuff to you, but I've been fortunate enough to have her and not, even had to worry about that stuff. Because I know a lot of people were, biting their nails and everything. I was just like, I'm happy. I got my tiny little Italian EMT. So
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it's good. But she sees me get all fucked up, and she's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Scared. Does she get scared ever?
No,
because she knows the deal, right? You told her.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, I can never get cut up in my face. I can cut up in my hairline and anywhere else, but not my face.
Now you don't like light tubes very much, do you?
No, I feel like I'll do them all day. It's just people usually don't ask me to.
Okay.
But there was one instance with her where she didn't say anything, but I could tell like she was very upset. But she always had things like, it's your life. You want to do this, it's fine. It was after the no bar wire with Tremont. I was all fucked up, mostly from carpet strips, and my leg was all fucked up because I got caught on the wire and it just tore up my leg and everything. And she was like, she just got very quiet. When like your wife gets very quiet, she's like, she's not pissed, but she's upset. And I was like, okay. So that was the one time. Every other time she's just like very lovingly, you're a fucking idiot. I was like, yeah, I know. But no, light tubes. I will do light tubes all fucking day. Nobody ever asked me to. A lot of times I'm specifically told not to do light tubes, and where a lot of guys would be like, fuck it, I'm just going to do them. I listen to the goddamn promoters.
So I was reading up on you, and you're not like June Kasai. You don't take off your shirt, and you're not like proud of the scar, right? I read that you don't really like scars. You don't really want a bunch of scars, do you?
Well, I don't mind them. If they happen, they fucking happen. I started being, if you notice me at Carnes Cup, like there's a distinct difference between me at the Carnes Cup where I'm wearing my singlet, a shirt, the fucking flannel, I'm taped up to here, which is good to always tape up because it helps you not get cut up in the veins. And me now, like I essentially don't give a fuck. Just don't cut up my face, so Natalia, my wife, doesn't fucking yell at me. But I was very weird with the scars because I was just like, like, I don't know if I want to be all scarred up. Then you get like I said, I got a little bit on this arm. Not second, you can't even tell on the webcam, but you get a little bit scarred up, and like I'm like, I'm fine with it. Whatever, just go shirtless, do whatever. I just haven't
freak me out though. I wouldn't want scars on me.
Yeah, but again, after a while, and also, like I'm not exactly the picture of health. I'm not like an Adonis or anything like that. So it's like, it's not a big deal. Like I said, I used to be very freaked out at them and being like, I got to put Moderna and all this stuff on them, and now I'm just like, just keep away infections. Don't cut my face. Like I'm very comfortable with them now. I remember the first subterranean violence. Matt said, hey, we're only going to use light tubes for a couple matches, so try not to use them. Well, everyone ended up using light tubes. But in my match, it was a barbed wire bat match with Low Life Louie and a Palace of Pain match with Officer Big Scare Dan O'Hare before he was a cop. We didn't use any light tubes. And I was like, man, I should have used fucking light tubes. Like I like using light tubes. I just don't get to use them very often. But someone says, hey,
Dan O'Hare back. I miss him, man.
Yeah, I miss him too. He still hangs out and does the sound and some of the more elaborate light setups at H2O. But he, like I said, he had some stuff going on and had to step away. So, but
you want to
he's
answer this question from Anthony Sabilizio? Where did Chanelina orientate at? Like, where did you think of that? Crazy. Let's show her. Let's take a picture of her.
Listen, that is fucking beauty right there. That is me not giving us a single fuck, feeling very free. And you know what? Like I said, like, and it's that reason alone, like, that seems stupid, but that's also the reason why. And I'm never going to be asked back, but if I was asked back to go to IWA Deep South just because of all the stuff he posts that's anti-LGBTQT and all that stuff, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Because that's kind of betraying a whole group of people that's like, well, why are you doing this? And I'm like, no, like, yeah. But Chandita originated when somebody dropped out of a booking and was supposed to be Mark Angel's tag partner for the intergender bonanza. I think it was the fourth one. And they said, well, wouldn't it be funny if China just did it as in a dress? And I was like, yeah, well, sure, let's do it. But in my head, I knew what I was going to do the whole time out there. So they said, oh, China's going to be in a dress, and it's going to be like bosom buddies, yada, yada, yada. You know, he's not really going to like, he's going to like this, like, no. But in my head again. So I went out there, they hit the music, and I started fucking dancing and everything like that. And essentially I turned it, the story now is Chandita is my sister. So I'm technically my own sister, but not really. But like, you know, and I have a fucking blast doing it. Like, I never have more fun out there wrestling than when I'm fucking Chandita, because it's fucking fun and it's a good time. And, you know, like I said, people like it, and I fucking love doing it, you know. And like I said, like, you know, it's kind of like a part of, like, a lot of people don't get to do stuff like that. And I think that's a part of people that they kind of keep hidden away and locked away. Like, me, I could, like, there's a little Chandita in all of us. Like, and I get to fucking openly express that part. And it's like, I will do that shit all day. I wanted to try and get Chandita into Queen of the Death matches when they were doing that, but
that'd be epic. How was it messing with the American Giant that night? We called on you for some help. We knew Chandalina would be up for it. You brought her in there. How was that experience? Because he was real offended by that. He hated that.
It was okay, but when I went live, I couldn't hear you guys, so I just kind of sat there like this, and it was really awkward. But I will say, Alex Nabif, I believe I'm pronouncing it right, which, that motherfucker just needs to get here like ASAP, whether he wrestles or just hosts his own show or just, you know, his adventures in America. Like, that motherfucker is he is a treasure and a half.
Yes.
Like, you know, like that. And speaking of Chandita, I got my Chandita going on right here. Just there. No shame. It's funny because with this, I've been wearing this around all day. Like, it's not a big deal. And my brother, who's a good guy, he was like, you know, I think he was like trying to be like concerned somewhat. He was like, not concerned, but just, hey, did you know that those are designed for girls? I was like, yeah. And then it hit me. It's like, he doesn't know his brother is actually Chandita. So, you know, we're going to have a fucked up Thanksgiving this year. I promise you that. So,
Little Louie, he wants to know Kenzans. What do you think about them?
They fucking suck. I've had one in my head. When
That's
I wrestled,
as bad as you get, right? They seem that just seems fucked up.
I was lucky. I've never had. See, there's two different experiences with Kenzans you can have. It's the actual going in part, and them getting stuck and having to get them out. The one time I did them, I didn't. I was fortunate enough to be able to just pull it out, and it took some effort, but I pulled it right out there in the ring. Connor Claxton, in the barefoot match I did with him, was trying to smack it into my foot. Neil got it into my foot at the last extravaganza, but the glove he was wearing to protect his fingers, he smacked the tip of the glove in there. So when he pulled his hand, he pulled the glove, or he pulled the Kenzan with it. Well, Connor just couldn't get it in. So he said, "Can I put it in your head?" And I think you could see me going like, "Uh-huh." But in my head, I was just like, "Oh, fuck." You know? So he headbutted in my head, and it hurt. It wasn't as bad as the three things I described, but it hurt so bad. Like, he goes for a second one, and I admit, I bitch out. Like, I pull back, and it sucked because it met the resistance of my skull and just hit all my pain receptors at once. They're fucking awful. Connor won't do Kenzans, but he always likes to laugh. Hey, remember that time I shoved one in your head? Yeah, I won't fucking do one. It's like, well, it happens. They're terrible. I'd do them again. But again, that goes back to the barefoot thing of pay me.
You know what? I think you should break them out. You have a big match coming up. What is it, next week against the
Jason
son?
Rod.
The son of Ian. Yeah, JC fucking Rodden. Let's show the graphic. No excuses.
Yeah.
This is live on IWTV, correct?
Yes. Live, 8 o'clock on IWTV next Saturday, the 28th.
Okay, so a 3 rotten stages of hell. So is this a JC match? Is this his stipulations?
Yeah. We were trying to think of something cool, and then because our big thing with this match coming up was the son of Ian Rotten. He does have all that history, so you kind of want to pay homage to the wars that his dad and Axel had. So the 3 potential falls. It's 3 stages of hell, but the first fall will be a chairs match. The second fall will be a barbed wire bat match, and if it comes to it, the third fall will be a Taipei fist, which
Oh shit!
which is how I got the barely noticeable on webcam scar on my arm.
His daddy knows a lot about Taipei fists.
Yeah, and barbed wire bats. And if I win, I get the last spot in the Southern Sickness Cup, which would be cool to do. Because
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Though also, if I don't win, not gonna lie, it'd be kind of cool that if he goes around doing this challenges to everybody. But if I win, I'm hoping. And I legitimately don't know what's gonna happen. So.
Is this JC's debut in H2O, right?
Mm-hmm. Not in the building. IWA ran a show in the H2O building that I filmed. And he wrestled John Wayne Murdoch, but it's his debut in H2O. So, that's kind of cool. Get to have kind of a featured match and everything.
Little Louie says he remembers when you recorded the one they pulled out of his dad's head.
Yeah, I think you probably saw TJ's footage of that. That is when I was convinced that lowlife Louie has no central nervous system. He didn't flinch, didn't squeal. He just kept his eyes closed. No pain, brother. Oh yeah, sure, no pain. Cool. And they fucking, yeah.
Lowlife's a fucking man. Did you see the NGI this year? A couple weeks with the blood.
I went over to his house and watched it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and people are like, "Oh man, Louie did really good." Like, yeah, Louie's been working for H2O for the past 4.5 years. Like, Louie never stopped being good. And it just is taking longer for people to realize how fucking good he still is. A lot of the guys in the fucking H2O locker room, and again, it sounds like I'm gushing, but it's like, or being biased towards H2O, and a lot of it's because I am. H2O doesn't get the attention that No Holds Barred gets, which, is fine, because they're fucking killing it. I know there was some guy that said that he wasn't a fan of Meng. How could you not like fucking Meng versus Schlack? Schlack was shooting headbutting him for like 10 minutes. It was fucking great.
Right. It's everything we wanted, right?
Yeah. And if you're expecting Meng to do like 450s, like, get the fuck out of here. But it was fucking great.
He did more. I wasn't expecting him to grab that bundle of light tubes either.
No. And bit Schlack's nose. which into the shoot story when he really bit someone's nose off. And most older guys you see go out there will put in like 5 minutes and then straight to the autograph table. Meng fucking put in the fucking work. Like, good shit.
Well, I agree with you that H2O definitely doesn't get enough credit. I think you guys are on the path though, because the Extravaganza show was breathtakingly good, man.
Yeah, and that's all Matt. Like I said, and that's another thing. Like, you don't hear a lot of people who work for H2O complain about H2O because it comes down to, like I said, like I said it before, like family. But Matt will hit you up, and instead of being like, "This is what you're gonna fucking do," well, I don't care, yada yada yada. Matt will say, "So what do you want to do?" Like, he'll talk to people. He's you can get hold of him anytime. Like, Matt will call me up. I know sometimes, like every couple of nights, I get a call at 3 a.m. and be like, okay, I'm not going to sleep until the sun rises, and we'll just talk about stuff. But Matt, of everybody else I've ever worked for, I can say gives a shit. And also out of everybody else I've ever worked for, like I said, I happen to be like good friends with them. Name drop. Matt Tremont. Yeah. Ooh. But anybody
That's
in that
a good name drop, though, man. You don't get better than that name drop.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to convince the world his real name's Matt Franklin. Every time I said it on IWTV once, and every time I drink too much of this, I go to his Wikipedia and I change Matt Tremont, real name Matt Franklin, and it's always changed back by the next morning. But that's one thing I will always do every time I have a little bit too much to drink. But Matt is like, if somebody's having a fucking personal problem, Matt would be like, just hit me up, call me, cool, just be honest and upfront with Matt, and he will always be honest and upfront with you. And it's kind of why H2O works and why people are so willing to give so much for H2O from a worker standpoint. It's an easy place to go into. Like this CZW locker room, I went into there, and everyone was nice. I didn't have a problem, but it's not the same as going into the H2O locker room. Like there, I literally can go to everybody in the H2O locker room and like just talk to them about anything but wrestling, or just and no one's going to try and fuck you over. And if there's people like that in the locker room that are particularly carny, Matt usually weeds them out, no matter how talented they are, because Matt would rather have a good environment than someone who can do, the best match in the world, which
You're like
is
a staple at H2O, I feel. Like, I don't know, man.
Video equipment. And I own the ring, which was sitting in my garage. And I was like, oh, well, we're opening a school. You want to get that ring out of your garage? Like, yeah. So.
Well, I think your match with Matt Tremont, the no-rope barbed wire match, is really underrated too. It's not even talked about a whole lot. Let's show the people a couple clips from this match and come back real quick. I know we're going over the time tonight. Sorry. Oh fuck, hold on. That was Honda.
I took the worst car bump ever because I was so scared I held onto the car. Yeah.
We're not even going to be able to get to half of my list tonight. It's already been almost an hour and a half with you. Time flies when you're having fun.
Sorry.
Let's look at this. Yikes.
Oh, well, it's funny. I almost did that match barefoot, just because, I want to be the fucking barefoot guy, so whatever. And if you see when I flip over the barbed wire when he tries to gut me on it, if I did that, the match probably would have ended right there. I probably would have ripped tendons in my foot because my boots got torn up from that too, caught on the rope. But that match was actually supposed to have light tubes in it. That was the last show that H2O ran while that building was still the OTW building, and understandably so. Jim Molyneux, who I love to fucking death, has tremendous taste in music. Anybody who's seen Queen live has my respect. But he was like, we had a kid's birthday party the next day. Don't really want class and everything. I was like, cool, I understand. But we were trying to convince Jim to let us stuff that the coffin at the end of the match with light tubes, and he was like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, it's okay. But it's funny, that match actually started with me making a joke with Matt, because we were watching. Have you ever seen those videos where you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Yes.
Well, have you ever seen those meme videos where it's Curb Your Enthusiasm? Like some guy will do something fucking stupid and then realize it, and then it plays the theme.
Yeah.
I said to Matt just one day as a joke, how funny would it be if I called you out for a match and you made it no rope barbed wire, and then all of a sudden we just played that music? Like, oh, well, that'd be kind of funny. We were laughing about it, and then it turned into, well, let's actually do a no rope barbed wire. Okay, cool. And for anyone wondering, I did actually make a video for when Matt made the match. I put the music in and everything. That
And
exists.
that promo we watched earlier, the little bit of that promo, that was from that match, the lead up to that match. This was true Tremont style because it was story, right?
Yeah, he didn't want to beat me up or he didn't want to hurt me, and then, you know,
Yeah.
kind of, I just wanted the respect and everything like that, and then I wasn't on the next show. But it was okay because I made good money that WrestleMania weekend.
Look,
Yeah,
this
that's one
guy
of my.
Corey Henry, he wants to see you and Nabib, the alter egos. He wants to see Horovich and Chalinda in a tag match together.
Oh fuck! Well, if they do double death and they can get him down, I'll do that. Shit. You know, like I said, like he is. I know Matt said like, hey, if you ever come down this way, you can come. Well, because even he'll admit like, hey, you know, I had the training I could get in Russia and this and that. And I was like, well, we'll do what we can. We'll help you out at H2O and everything like that for free and everything. And I think he's, you know, proven to be a good guy and worth the effort to put in. Anybody puts in for him. And even if he doesn't get that extra like training in the ring, he'll go out there and he'll put on a fucking crazy show. Every time before I do a specific death match, I always look up as many matches as I can of what recently has been done. Like I did it with the No Rope Bar Wire. I did it with my match with Neil at the last extravaganza. And I looked up every recent barefoot thumbtack match I could, and a lot of them weren't very good. I'm not shitting on people specifically, but kind of. But one I watched was one that he did, and I was just like, oh, he's out of his fucking mind. I'd like to do this with him if he ever makes it here. So that's a direct open challenge, Alex. If you ever get here to America, I want to fucking wrestle you in a barefoot, God knows what, death match. So
I'm going to say a couple wrestlers' names, and I want you to tell me the first thing that pops in your head, okay? I'm going to show you pictures of them. Bam Sullivan.
Bam Sullivan, you know, it's weird watching them there all bloody because a week before the pandemic hit, Jeff Cannonball got married to Tara Calloway, and we were all at the same table. So I'm looking at him right there, and I'm just thinking like, oh, that's not the guy that I was at the wedding with. But he's one of the hardest working people. That whole crew. Like I think the extricated should be fucking everywhere. Mouse, Aiden, and Bam especially. Like Bam can wrestle, he can do death matches. Like again, it's like the same thing with Low Life Louie for the entire extricated and everyone in the locker room. H2O has known Low Life Louie is the fucking man for the past 4.5 years. It's just now with GCW, with Brett and everyone using them and everything, everyone else is starting to realize Louie is still the fucking man after 25 fucking years. There's a locker room full of people that, you know, I'm convinced there is a future in the H2O locker room. There's a future King of the Death Match. There's a future, you know, Crimson Crown winner. There's a future Tournament of Survival winner. There's the fucking futures in the H2O locker room. And like I said, I want to see the extricated like fucking everywhere because they will fucking kill it. Like, remember how the Naptown Dragons used to do that shit? You'd book all 3 Naptown Dragons in a deathmatch tournament. They just like, they can be the fucking Naptown Dragons in 2021. Like, fucking book the extricated everywhere.
Okay, first thing that comes to mind, Alex Colon.
Alex Colon actually trained me in 2011 to do he didn't train me, but he trained me how to do arm drags and hip tosses. So because he was always down there too, you know, helping run class with Sammy. So I've known Alex for close to 10 years. We used to always go to Chili's and hang out. Then he moved to Ohio. But Alex and me, you know, he's one of my favorite people that I love to take shit-eating grin pictures with because I'll be like this and he'll just be miserable looking. But I fucking love Alex. He's one person who, if I ever wrestled Alex, he would beat the fuck out of me, and I'd be happy as a pig in shit doing it. Like, you know, like I want to wrestle Alex so fucking bad. But the thing is, Alex has no reason to want to wrestle me past like, fine, I'll wrestle fucking Chondo. Like I got that big desire to wrestle Alex. Alex is the fucking man, you know. I
So
don't know.
that's a dream match, kind of. You want Alex one day in
I
a
wanted to
death
wrestle
match?
Alex for like 10 fucking years. Since Force One, my wrestling school was still around, you know. So I always wanted to wrestle Alex. And then now's when he was mostly just wrestling. And then he started doing death matches, and it was like, if I wrestled Alex, it would be a horror show for me because I'd look like I went through a fucking meat grinder. But like I absolutely want to. That's something where it's like, don't even fucking pay me. Like, I mean, unless you know you can pay me, but like it wouldn't be about the money. It wouldn't be about anything. I just really want to fucking wrestle this guy that I've known for almost 10 years and like yeah, just and is the best in the world at what he does right now. So
Okay, one more. He's kind of a controversial figure right now. Alex Ocean. What's the first thing? What do you think, man? Do you even know Alex personally?
I've never met him before. I
Well,
will.
what do you think about what he's doing right now? Because he's kind of, you
He's
either
well.
love him or hate him, but he is kind of killing it right now.
I will say one thing. I am a huge Dragon Ball Z fucking mark, and I love the Vegeta and Goku tattoos on his chest. I fucking me and Stan Styles talk about Dragon Ball Z all fucking day. The Moro saga just ended today for anybody else that follows it. So check that out. But
Cheap plug.
oh yeah, fuck yeah, go follow Dragon Ball Z. But I used to be a lot like that with the whole make shooty comments and stuff like that. Every time I did that with somebody, yeah,
He
but
kind of reminds me of you.
well, every time I did that with somebody, I would tell them first. Believe it or not, like all that stuff I said about Maria Manning, like, oh, she's a bitch, she's a whore, she's this. I messaged her, is it okay if I say this? Like, yeah, I'm sorry. I make sure it's okay. She's like, yeah, silly, cool. One, because it's the cool thing to do, you know, because I'm trying not to actually be an asshole, though I can be. And two, I had a bunch of people message me saying like, you're a fucking piece of shit. You don't know how to work. Send them the screen cap here. She's cool with it. I'm cool with it. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, but I think when you do that shooty comment thing, it's cool. It works. It helps bring realism to it, but also make sure everybody's cool with it, because otherwise because it goes back to the whole WCW thing, like, well, working the fans. And again, that sounds like a negative connotations of fans. Trust me, fans help pay for this fucking Mad Dog. So like, I'm not shitting on fans, but just make sure everyone's cool with it. And I'm also a firm believer that the shooty comment thing will carry you, but will only carry you so far. Like after a while, you have to get. It goes back to the old NWA. You got to tell a good story of wanting to beat somebody up and wanting this and that, and it goes back to wanting to do it traditionally. Sprinkling it in there works, but I think what Alex is doing, like, he's definitely stepped on the wrong side of that tightrope sometimes, but then it rubbed people the wrong way. But I think when he finds a good balance, he'll be fine. He just has to find a good balance and not completely fall off that fucking rope, that tightrope. In the meantime, but again, I've never met him as a person. I haven't seen many of his matches. I just seen him jump off of a couple high things. But yeah, that's my thought on that. Because if you notice, I've stopped doing a lot of that stuff lately.
Yeah, you're not like that on the internet no more.
Yeah, well, also because Matt was just like, listen, I know you're working, especially after the second extravaganza. Matt would message me like, listen, I got people hitting me up. I know you're just working. I know. Surprise! I knew I was going to be on the show the whole time. I wouldn't still be working with Matt if I legitimately jumped the pay-per-view. Which, but he's like, listen, I know you're working. I know people are buying it, but I'm tired of people messaging me if I'm mad at you. Can you just back off? Okay, fine.
Oh fuck, that's great, man.
Which is one of the coolest things I've ever got to do. Danny Havoc was probably on the top of my list. Past Pondo, Danny Havoc was on the top of my list of guys I wanted to work. Never got to work him, and I was so fucking lucky. He's like, oh, you want to get beat up by Danny Havoc at our first Fight TV? Fuck yes, I do. Fuck yeah, anything you want. Fuck yeah. So I got to do that, and he was a good dude. And like I said, that to me is like, with how this year turned out, like I will always fucking hold that on a pedestal. I got to do something with Danny fucking Haddock. Like that's fucking awesome.
That's fucking awesome. R.I.P. Danny Havoc.
Yeah.
Gone but never forgotten.
No.
Mr. Chondo, you're not only a cool guy.
I'm a sober guy.
You're drinking. You fucking wrestle. You put your hair down. The fuck?
Not Chandita's back.
You death match. You do weird things to your fucking feet.
Yes.
Hold on. You film shows, but artwork is a big thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, especially this Christmas season. That's pretty much how I pay for my Christmas gifts for everybody. Everyone, especially with, I guess, COVID, there's not a whole lot of, hey, I got you this, I got you that. I went to the sewer and got this. So a lot of people are hitting me up to do commissions for the family, and I'm all about doing that. So it was cool when my
plug away, man. Let them know, what do they need. Like, let's say I'm looking for this.
I will draw. Oh, that. Oh, I can. I sell prints of that, actually. All prints are only $10 if you get them at a show, $15 because I can't lose money on the shipping. So
this is sick right here. I love this.
Yeah, thing. And that was actually done from a reference picture by Earl Gardner, who does these beautiful photography portraits. It always helps, like art wise. It always helps. Like you'll notice, like some of my stuff is more cartoonish. Like the Hard Times one I did of Dusty was more kind of a cartoon version of Dusty. Something like this is more photorealistic. It's because I have those really good reference pictures from Earl and stuff like that. Like, but I can do stuff like this for pretty much anybody. I will draw whatever as long as you're willing to compensate me. I'll do T-shirt designs. Just if you can help me. That one actually I forgot I drew, but I do remember I drew that.
Love it, man. I love your work. I love when you post them on Facebook. I always give you the love button.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, pretty much my wife or fiance has a collection of all the T-shirts I drew, which is kind of cool. Because every time her parents think that I don't do anything, or he's like, "What's he doing with his life?" She wears one of my T-shirts, and it's like, "Oh well, I got my own clothing line."
So where can people go if they want some shit from you, man? Right now, what do they do?
Hit me up. Everything I do, other than the paintings, is under $100. So like a T-shirt design is, depending on what you want, under $100. The paintings usually cost around $125 for the big full size paintings, because paintings take a long fucking time to do. But also they're expensive to ship. So $25 of that's for the shipping. But if you want to hit me up for any artwork, message me on my Instagram, which is Chondo1987 or Chondo Art. I have Twitter, which I recently just started using, which is Chondo at Chondo Art. Or you could just message me right here on this Facebook page, Jimmy Chondo Lyon or Chondo Concha Hulk, and whatever the fuck it is. And I'll get back to you in a couple days because I'm really shitty at Messenger. So,
are you a mask wearer or a non? Like when you go to Walmart, is it are you strapped up?
Yeah. I am definitely not an anti-mask person, especially since, like I said, my grandma, okay. So my grandma's been through a lot in 2019. In October, she had to get her small intestines taken out, and they had to put a colostomy bag there. She wasn't able. We thought we were going to lose her for 4 or 5 months after that, because she couldn't get out of bed. She just kind of lost her will. She had to rehab herself, and in fact, I had to go over there every day. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but my aunt works. Everyone else works because I just wrestle right now because of the lockdowns and everything. I was able to go over there for a solid 6 months and just rehab her. Now she's getting around. She's just like she used to, but she's 92 now. So, oh yeah. But she's 92 now, so I am not going to kind of put her at risk. like I said, I don't really put it out there. Didn't really put it out there that much, but like I said, like after the last extravaganza, my house, the one that you're seeing right now, is literally around the corner from my grandma's house. But if I have to quarantine, I can be here for 2 weeks and not see her and still face chat with her. After the last extravaganza, I got a COVID test, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of places will do it for free. And once I got the negative on that, I went back over, you know, saw her, hung out. But as far as masks go, you can call me a bitch, you can call me pussy, whatever. I know if I got COVID, knock on wood, I don't, I'd probably be okay. She probably wouldn't. So that's why I'm like, fucking wear your mask, do whatever, dude. Like,
I wear it when I go out, like to Walmart. I have it on.
oh yeah, and plus it's tremendous. You can call people motherfuckers under your breath, and as long as you look in the other direction, they can't see shit, so it's good.
Yeah, you can mean mug people better because all they see is your eyes, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, this T-shirt, you got a T-shirt, or is this not for sale now?
Oh no, that's still for sale. That's for sale online. I don't have any physical ones with me. That was done by Redneck Kung Fu, who does so many people. If you need a T-shirt design, I know I say go to me because I don't. But full disclosure, that's like booking me or booking Lucky 13 to do a death match. I can do it. He's going to do it better, you know?
Yeah, he's awesome. I love his artwork.
Oh, yeah. No, that's actually a girl that does that. You might think her name's Alex Mahoney, but that's a girl that does that in Australia.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah. But always go to her. But that is still available. I have an online shop, which I forget the fucking address and I forget all this other stuff, but that's available somewhere online. That awesome design I got from her, and she's also the one that gave me permission to print the pictures she did of Grant for the last extravaganza. I was able to make close to $300 for the Danny Havoc Foundation of the Arts. So she's a very good person too. So
well, shit, send me that link later so I can post it, man.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
So when it's all said and done, Jimmy, what do you want the legacy of Jimmy Lyon to be?
Some guy that was never afraid to lose cleanly to people, because I hate people that don't like that. A guy that had pristine feet, and Mick Foley said something. And again, I'm not comparing myself to Mick Foley, but this is kind of my wrestling philosophy. He said something, I forget where he said it, but he said, like, at the end of the day, people could say that, you know, wrestling was a little bit better, or them wrestling was a little bit easier because I was involved in it, or they made it easier on me. That's all that matters. Like, I just don't want to be known as a dick, and I'm not very good at that, but hopefully I can fix the other half that I fucked up in my first 5 years of wrestling and my next 10 years. So, yeah, there's just people like, he was a guy that did dumb stuff, but he made me smile. That's it.
Well, Jimmy,
like, if you guys are out there.
Oh,
anybody, whoever's booking deathmatch tournaments, when COVID starts clearing up a little bit, I mean, just put me in a car full of guys. If you want to fly me down, but I can also film your show too. But I'll stick my feet in thumbtacks for you. So just book me.
I hope to see you in Southern Sickness next week. You might have the chance to get in there, right? That's crazy.
Legitimately, I don't know about that. When JC mentioned that in his promo, that's the first I ever heard about it. So when JC was like, "You win the last spot in Southern Sickness," it's a lot like that Carnage Cup thing where I got put in the second round. I was like, "Oh wait, really?" I have no idea what's going on with this match, but if I win, I will be just as surprised as everybody else.
So that's November 28th. And I believe 8 p.m. Eastern. I could be wrong on that. I don't know.
Oh, and I'm looking to, if you don't know, I can't remember. Like, I like the hybrid wrestling style. I can't fucking do it very well. One of my favorite examples of matches, which is another reason I want to wrestle Schlack one-on-one, is Necro Butcher versus Green Phantom, where they just went out there and beat the fuck out of each other. Like, you don't think they were in the back thinking like, oh man, first I'll do this and then I'll throw milk at you. And like no, they just fucking went out and beat the shit out of each other. I fucking love that so much. Like that's what, like if I ever get to wrestle Schlack, you know, just keep the jugs of milk away. You know, but I really want this match, hopefully, you know, again, knock on wood, to be kind of like the just Ian and Axel just being the piss out of each other. Like I fucking love that so much. Not like, oh well, you can tell they did a spot and then they did this and then they did this and then, you know, he reversed this. Like no, it's just I got a bat, you got a bat, let's just fucking swing it. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this match. I think you guys are gonna mix very well together.
Yeah, I hope so. I've only met him a couple times, but he seems nice until he decided to say he wants to beat the shit out of me. So we'll see how that works.
And you did a promo, didn't you? I should have
Yeah.
had. I don't have that with me, but I'll post it in the group tonight.
Yeah, I did that sitting in my car because I legitimately was with my fiance when he posted his thing. He's like, "You got to do another wrestling thing." He's like, "Yeah, I got to film another wrestling thing." So I filmed it real quick while we were eating dinner. So one take.
So you just go out to your car and you do these promos?
No, I have an empty house now, so I can scream as loud.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But
I
she
thought
was
you
there.
said-
Legitimately, I said in my promo, oh, we were eating dinner and I watched this, and yeah, I was eating dinner and we watched it, so I had to go to the car. You know, I can get away with a lot, just not with her. So,
Well, sir, we've had you on an hour and 46 minutes. Holy fuck, I can't believe it.
sorry.
Thank you for your time, man. You were a really good guest. I enjoyed every minute of this, man.
Yeah, no problem. I just gotta promote like three
Well,
things.
anything you want, plug away right now. It's the fucking floor is yours.
Okay, this Saturday at the H2O Wrestling Center, it's pay your dues the hard way. G Raver's going to be there. Lucky's going to be there. Wrestling Marcus Mathers, which is going to be fucking awesome. And just the entire card. I'm going to be filming that, so that'll be out and available in a couple weeks. Next Saturday, November 28th, is No Excuses, which I'm wrestling JC Rotten in a 3 Stages of Hell match. 3 Rotten Stages of Hell match. After that is December 5th, which is Stan Styles Intergender Bonanza 5, and I don't have a match, but I'll be there, so who knows, you know. But
Will you be filming it or no?
I don't know. Literally, I have filmed and wrestled at the same time. Like filmed, and then it's like, oh shit, well, I got to go in the back for my match. Okay, and then come right back. Like I wrestled G Raver, and 2 matches later, I was filming, and I was still cut up and miserable and had blood on me. So, who knows? I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with these shows. So, who knows? But that's
What
it.
else? Nothing else to plug? Your artwork? Do that one more time. And then,
Oh yeah, I have a Twitter at Chondo Art. I have an Instagram, Chondo Art, and also Chondo 1987, where I mostly post pictures of my cats. I have this Facebook, and that's about it. And for my sanity's sake, I'm sorry I don't accept requests on my personal Facebook, but my in-laws would fucking kill me. So yeah, I'm not a tough guy at all. Like I'm afraid of my in-laws and my future wife. So
your shoot profile. Hey, what's like a daily post from you? Is it like real loving?
yeah, it's pictures of my cats. Pretty much, RoboCop and spaghetti. So, which that's
well,
it.
we love you, Chondo, on MDKC. I'm a big fan of you, man, and I hope that you just keep doing your thing. I
I
think
will for as long as my insurance holds out. So,
I think you're really coming into your own lately.
hopefully that match with Neil Diamond Cutter, he kind of gave me a lot of confidence I didn't have before. My grandpa. Paul Neal is a very good, talented guy. So now I just got to prove that I can do it without my grandpa.
Before we let you go, I named all your fucking credentials, and I didn't even mention musician. We're gonna let you go right after this, but let's a little clip of you. You're fucking.
I don't know. I'm not singing again. Fuck that.
One more time. I know it's been
Good, 'cause I don't know that part. Okay, let's go to the chorus. Fuck it.
Oh no, have you ever seen the rain?
I had a butane later. All I got is a scented candle, man. Yes, I relax the scented candles like all deathmatch workers do.
I dig your guitar stuff. I dig your work. Chondo, thank you so much, man.
Thank you for being, like I said, I've told you this before, but this group specifically is very important for people like me and H2O and all these other groups to advertise. Before, that it was kind of just a general thing, but this has everyone who normally wouldn't see something specifically targeted at them. It does wonders. So, like I said, not trying to be a kiss ass, but thank you for all the stuff that you've helped me and a lot of other deathmatch guys do. So,
I appreciate that, and all the admins do for those words. That's cool. We do it for you guys, man, because we love what the fuck you do. So much respect.
Do not. So it's nice to know someone does.
Hey, maybe a part 2 one day?
Oh, fuck yeah. You still got the other half. I'm pretty sure I'll do stupid stuff between now and then.
You can't really see, but man, probably 50 more questions here. So part 2 one day coming soon.
One-word answers.
You're going to Chuck Stein me? Chuck Stein kind of did one-word answer to me on his interview.
Well, that's the thing. I talk too much, so, just pick like the 3 best questions and I'll just go off,
You're a really easy interview. I always know, man, when I look at the clock and it's like fucking an hour and 20 minutes and it just feels like
almost 2 hours.
Some interviews aren't like that. You look at it, you're like, 15 minutes. Holy fuck.
Oh, fuck. American Giant's going to shoot himself. Don't really shoot yourself for legal purposes. NWO, too sweet.
NWO, too sweet. Thank you, Jimmy. And we'll catch you. You're always on the group, so we'll see you on the group, man.
Later, guys. Peace.
See you, bro.
Yeah, because I'm a gangster.
Honestly, I do not like it.
Welcome to the Deathmatch Hour.
But don't do the backyard. You're going to hurt yourself.
If you don't like deathmatch wrestling, I fucking hate you.